Hey, y'all, welcome back to Gadfly, the podcast about third parties, French candidates, and just generally weird American electoral history. I'm Dusty Wilson.
I'm Una O'Leary.
And thank you all so much for giving us a full 2 weeks to get back into the swing of things. That was really kind of all of you.
So nice.
I am rejuvenated. I'm full of the woods. I am completely against work, which is great. It's a good thing to have when you come back to work.
Did you write these thoughts down, though, or use maybe an old Remington typewriter?
Oh, no. I got the Remington typewriter with the very distinctive keystrokes. It's going to be great.
Excellent.
I can't wait for the presidential campaign they run in my honor and against my wishes.
Oh, no.
It's going to be great. So yeah, we probably should just rip that Band-Aid off right now because it's going to be semi-long. So at the end of the last episode about Larry McDonald, the 1980s McCarthyite, I alluded that we might be talking about someone from his district who, you know, seems like a really bad, awful choice because she is. But in the context of everything, it kind of makes some sense as to how she ended up where she is, and that's everyone's favorite terrible person now, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, we're gonna learn about little Marge. Just the worst. And yeah, so I think it's important to talk about her for a couple of reasons. For one, I think most people's knowledge of her begins somewhere around September of 2020 and goes to about now. I don't think a lot of people know where she came from, who she is, how she became what she is. It was just like people suddenly, it's a lot like Art Jones, who for those of you outside of the Chicagoland area, he's the neo-Nazi who got the Republican nomination of Illinois, who he has a funny story and we'll eventually talk about it. But the general gist is the Illinois GOP fought for decades to do every underhanded thing they could to keep him off the ballot. And it just finally got to the point that Art had gotten over all their hurdles and he was the only guy who applied for the job. And so when you're the only person running in the primary, you win. But like Art Jones is a well-known commodity here in the Chicagoland area. He is the Illinois Nazi. And so when everyone in the nation started freaking out about it, I'm like, yeah, you're right. But still there's context to this. Like there are plenty of other things you can dunk on the GOP on as of right now. And it's not like Art Jones is running against a good Democrat, but it was back when he was running against Dan Lipinski, just oh
boy,
a man who's never smiled in a way that says I shouldn't be at least in solitary confinement.
Yikes.
Yeah. Look up a picture of Dan Lipinski and show
doing it right now. Dan Lipinski. Oh, yikes.
Yeah. This how humans smile.
Oh yeah, he's not a great person either, but he definitely has the look. He has the facial look of someone you would associate with an Austrian news article about a father who kept his daughters in basements.
Yes, I wish I could remember that guy's name, but it's also good that we don't.
It's great that we don't.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he should never own a home with a cellar. And
yes.
Yeah, it's never being used for the right reasons. So it makes us very happy that Marie Newman is now representing that district. But yeah, long story on that is that people's knowledge of Art Jones started to become a lot more knowledgeable from the moment he became nationally known and on. People don't know his previous claims to fame or how he got on the ballot or how he actually built somewhat of a following in the area of people who liked him but still didn't know he was a Nazi. So yeah, and so that's really why I want to talk about Marjorie here, is that she is, you know, we kind of want to act like it's such a rarity for, I don't want to use the word lunatic or any sort of like mental health derogatory term, but someone is morally broken. There are people with crud morals who are in Congress and have been for quite some time, but she seems to be on a whole new level. And I think through this podcast, we've discovered, no, that level's always been there. It's just in completely different ways. So I think it's important to talk about her because there's going to be more Marjorie Taylor Greenes in the future, no matter how hard we try. The alt-right has always been here. It's just been under different names. And so I think the more that we understand where these people come from and what their progression is, I think the better protected we are for the future.
I love this. Yeah, no, and I think the last week's episode illustrated, you know, it's like, these are the signs to look out for. If is your district becoming Nazi friendly?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you electing a guy that Iceland somewhat kicked out?
Yeah.
Did you elect someone who manifested his own destiny via?
But like, really?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So Marjorie Taylor was born in 1974 in Milledgeville, Georgia. Her father, Robert Taylor, was the owner of a construction company called Taylor Commercial. Aside from this, there really isn't a ton out there about Marjorie's upbringing. The one detail that we do get is she attended South Forsyth High School in Cumming, Georgia. And in 1990, the school would gain brief national attention when sophomore student Randy Floyd Addis would walk into a civics classroom with a deer rifle, a shotgun, and a handgun. Now, Marjorie states that she was only a few classrooms away when this happened, and she would have been evacuated with the rest of the school at the time. But according to reports, Randy fired his rifle above the students' heads before the teacher would then wrestle it away from him. Randy then pulled his handgun and began holding 53 people in the classroom hostage, and would do so for the next 5 hours. So when police arrived, Addis began making demands. Initially, he told the cops that he wanted $3,000, but he would end up releasing 44 of the students in exchange for snacks and soda. With only 9 hostages remaining, Randy changed his demands to add a school bus on top of the $3,000. According to Randy, his plan was to use the bus and the money to escape his home life and leave the country. But in later years, he admitted that what he really hoped would happen was that he would just lead the cops to shooting him and ending his life. Much of Randy's home life had been difficult, primarily due to a series of illnesses, including epilepsy, as well as an undiagnosed mental illness. So by the 5th hour, Randy grew dizzy and passed out. The remaining students disarmed him, pinned him down, and the police entered to arrest him. In the end, no one had even been wounded. Addis would be charged with 53 counts of kidnapping, as well as 9 counts of kidnapping by ransom, and 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Randy would be tried as an adult and sentenced to 8 years in prison. However, he would receive parole in 3 years after the state agreed that properly treating his mental health would be better than keeping him in prison for the remaining 5 years. And since then, it seems that Randy's lived just a pretty much normal life, being able to take care of his mental health and kind of continue on.
This episode is already going to make me livid. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah. So Marjorie left the school that day, learning a lesson.
Ooh, wait, pause.
Yeah.
What year was this again?
1990.
Okay. How old is Marjorie Greene?
She would have been 16 at the time. Right now she was born in 74, so she is like 46.
Like, do you ever just have that weird feeling where you realize that people in Congress are actually your, like, could be your own age?
Oh, I refuse to believe that.
Yeah, okay. That's
no, anyone who's ever done porn was born in 1975, and
oh, Dusty, I have bad news for you.
Nope, no such thing. Time's a flat circle.
All right. Yeah, that's all. Because it's just one of those things where it's just like, are we going to have shared experiences here? I'm not okay with this.
Kind of sort of close. I mean, her senior picture is very early 90s. It's, all the fucking Aquanet and like it's a glamour shot and there's like a white feather boa. It's pretty great. I will say. But yeah, so Marjorie ended up leaving the school that day, realizing the true importance of the Second Amendment. So I would like to break this down.
Yeah, please do, Dusty.
So kid comes into a school with 3 guns with the unspoken goal of suicide by cop. He fires above everyone's head. He doesn't really seem to want to kill anyone. Now, I'm not saying people know this, but this is just what we know in hindsight. And eventually the state figures out, oh, this is a mental health issue, and we can help this person, and there is no reason to keep this person incarcerated. And on the other end, Marjorie is leaving the school thinking to herself, I'm assuming, if someone had a gun, we could have shot this guy when he entered the classroom.
But I'm saying, even if your core memory is that, like, because at one point he was disarmed momentarily by the students, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if that's your core memory, that, like, we will rise above and take, like, was it the fact that he brought out another gun? I just don't get it.
Well, a lot of this is probably, at least I'm assuming, to be kind of a retconned memory, because this is something that she brings up in Congress whenever people start talking about gun rights.
Oh boy.
As like her experience of understanding what it's like to be in a school shooter situation, which she was. I'm not going to deny that she wasn't. Right. But especially with the context of everything that happened afterwards, it's clearly not the right lesson to take from your personal experience.
No, oh my God. Especially when the gun violence that is happening now is like, there isn't even the self-awareness happening of like, I'm just going to shoot closer to the ceiling and hope that this ends. I mean, like, the mental health issue is certainly there all the same, but it's much more, I don't know, pointed outward.
Yeah. But you know what? We'll get back to all of that at some point. But this is the only thing that I could find out about Marjorie's childhood. It is a blank slate for the most part. That she grew up with money, thanks to her dad's construction company, and she was adjacent to a school shooting incident. So in 1992, Marjorie would graduate from high school and move down the road to the University of Georgia. While there, she would do 2 things: get her bachelor's degree in business administration and get married to Perry Greene. Now, I can find both fuck and all about Perry. He seems to be an incredibly loyal husband to Marjorie, and following graduation, he is tied very closely to a lot of her business dealings. And aside from that, though, I can't find a single thing about him. I saw like a picture of him, and that's it. So, all right, how much of her life is made up? Like, has she always existed in some way or another? Did she just show up one day at the age of 16? Like, it always bothers me when so little information is out there about public figures, especially in the government.
Well, and I wonder too if it's like this, if there is just like a black hole for like a certain demographic or like year brackets for politicians of like, you're not old enough or dead to require like the extensive research of a professional.
Yeah.
And you're not young enough to have been a digital native and online since birth.
Yeah, because my example is going to be like, we know all about Ilhan Omar and AOC's childhood, but that's a really good point that there's so much online already that makes it fairly easy to discover and probably easier to ask questions and talk about.
Yeah, like way easier for people to be like, yeah, I went to elementary school with her, and then upload, picture of Miss Hanson's 3rd grade schoolroom or whatever.
Yeah. So now I'm assuming after graduating in 1996 that Marjorie spent the next 6 years administrating all kinds of business. But 2002 is when she would hit the big time. Together with her husband, they bought Taylor Commercial from her dad. Perry immediately was named the new president of the company, and after 5 years, Marjorie would promote herself to the position of the company's chief financial officer. So, look, as someone who's bounced around a number of jobs, both against and entirely of my will, I absolutely get how it can be draining to stay at the same job for too long. And after 9 years of running the family business and 16 years of marriage, Marjorie was starting to feel, well, an emptiness in her life. So she did what everyone does when they feel like something's missing. They get themselves a religion. But Marge isn't someone who makes that kind of a decision half-assed. No, not Marjorie. She needs 2 new religions. The first was evangelical Christianity. When she was baptized at the North Point Community Church, which, despite its folksy name, is a megachurch of about 38,000 regular attendees.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is. It's on an 83-acre campus. The guy who runs it is considered to be one of the top 10 most influential pastors in America.
That's a small liberal arts school.
That's at least 6 denizens.
Yes. It's huge. I fundamentally don't understand, religion in general, but also I guess the appeal, that's a commune.
I can't imagine going to a church that big. I mean, when I did go to church regularly, it was at a Presbyterian church, and the average congregation was maybe 100 people at most. And even that was a lot of people. So I couldn't imagine being surrounded by 32,000 people every freaking week.
No, I don't appreciate it. The few times I would show up for Ash Wednesday at whatever parish looked good and just be like, all these creasters around here, ignoring the fact that I was one of them.
How fucking long would an Ash Wednesday service be if the congregation was 32,000 people?
Full reflex cringe, just everyone queuing up.
How many times do you have to say and also with you before you're allowed to move on? Like loaves of communion bread.
Oh my God, the peace be with you where you have to shake hands and pretend you like the people around you would be forever.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I guess it is a good thing only evangelicals make churches this big and that Catholics just keep it to the Vatican and maybe a couple of churches in New York City.
Yes. Yeah. Like a Kennedy wedding tops.
Yeah. Oh man. So she joins the North Point Community Church. The video of her baptism is online. I didn't watch it because to me that just feels kind of creepy watching someone's baptism. I don't know. I read the Bible. That part that says don't make that shit public, fucking, do your thing, but don't be a show off about it.
Online. You yourself were complaining about how there wasn't enough information about her.
Look, if she did it when she was 15, there might be some interest there, but she did this when she was a grown-ass adult.
Oh, if she were underage, Dusty?
Look, I don't want this to turn into a podcast where I support underage church bathing. This got creepy before expected. Anyway, so she found a second religion as well. And this one, some call it a cult, others an annoying fad, and others call it their fucking identity because just see how many goddamn burpees I can do. You can fuck off.
No, it's CrossFit.
It's CrossFit.
Oh, it's such a cult.
So CrossFit, capital C, capital F, is best described as a fitness regimen that was created by a pair of Santa Cruz trainers in the year 2000. The workout involves equal parts aerobics, calisthenics, and Olympic weightlifting. And each session lasts about an hour and typically involves a warm-up, a skill development segment, a high-intensity workout of the day, and a period of post-exercise stretches, which is also a calm way of saying each section can be intense as all fuck and is designed to break you.
The point is to throw up. Like the goal, I'm not even joking, the goal is to make you throw up.
Well, that's where the toxins are.
Oh my God.
I mean, I tried to do those things that got them out through my feet, but apparently that wasn't enough.
I'm just saying, the times when my classics degree comes most in handy is anytime I dip my toe into a workout fad, be it SoulCycle, flywheel, it usually involves a bike, but also CrossFit and the cults of ancient Athens, your basic Athenian or Dionysus or whatever, the actual cults. The point was to stay up all night, probably in a really hot room where you get really sweaty and lose a lot of electrolytes, and then find yourself kind of fainting and having visions, and maybe you'd puke, but because you all did it together, you kind of came through on the other side together and bonded so much more. So it's a cult. That
already sounds so much better than CrossFit, though.
Yeah, because they were probably drunk on really thick wine.
Oh, yeah. If it's the cult of Dionysus, you better be fucking drinking.
Yeah.
Wait, thick wine?
Yeah, because they cut it with water. I don't know how they processed wine back then.
I just love the idea of like semi-solid wine, and they're like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. What, do you hate Zeus or something?
Just heat it over a spoon. Calm down.
Pour some of it on the rocks. It'll be great.
That's that uncut Merlot, 90%.
These are just grapes. Don't tell Hephaestus, he'll get mad.
Oh,
I am now out of Greek gods, but I'm glad the bit ran its course. So one of the biggest criticisms of CrossFit is that if you don't know proper technique and just dive in, it can be incredibly easy to get yourself hurt due to sudden movements or segments being far more intense than necessary.
Yeah, or the fact that it's like you're probably joining in your 30s because you're like, oh God, I got to turn this around. Your knees are already shot, and now they want you doing burpees.
Oh man, you know what hurts? Walking upstairs. You know what I should do about it? Slamming my knees on the ground in front of everyone.
Yeah.
It'll be great. But CrossFit has actively campaigned against that belief, citing various studies and backing it with all trainers getting a very specific kind of training to guarantee that people don't get hurt. Thing though is there's no requirement that CrossFit gyms have to hire certified trainers. They could just kind of hire whomever they want. And so corporate CrossFit covers its ass, but everyone else can just do whatever and they just like back away.
Yeah, again, part of the aesthetic is that it's supposed to be like someone's unfinished garage. Like you're just supposed to take like a tiny warehouse and then throw some dumbbells in it.
This used to be a Toys R Us and now it's your fucking church.
Yeah, now give us $150. We didn't even paint the walls.
But yeah, that's a really good summary of their fucking gyms. So that being said, I do have a bit of an insider on the CrossFit. And my insider friend's main complaint, and this is a person who loves the workouts in general, loves hanging out with the people who are there, loves everything about it, but does note that with a lot of these trainers, they really don't care for what doctors or scientists have to say, and that many will encourage clients to go completely against their doctor's wishes if they believe that their own ideas will be more beneficial.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, my friend used the example of him watching them tell an actual doctor that they were wrong.
Probably was trying to tell the doctor to go paleo as well.
Oh, God. So another big example of what's so wrong with CrossFit is that there's a bit of a connection between uncertified trainers and clients suddenly suffering from exertional rhabdomyosis. I'm all right. I'm not even going to say it. Simply, their muscles get fucked up from overexertion.
Ugh.
Yeah. So CrossFit as a company doesn't really deny this, mainly because they say that happens in anything that you do that's high contact. That happens in sports. That happens in working out. You're going to exert your muscles when you're working out, baby. Do you want it or do you not?
Yeah, of course. You're going to overexert yourself because we're expecting you to give 110%.
You shouldn't hurt. The ropes that you're doing that up and down motion with should hurt.
Yeah, you should see their mito.
Look, doctors, I know Latin's cool and all, but can we just maybe
keep it down to like 3 syllables tops?
Yeah, it's like, exertional riboflavin. We'll go with that. But probably the thing that we should note the most, especially in regards to our good old friend Marge, is the kind of political attitude of CrossFit founder Greg Glassman. Now, Greg isn't exactly what one would call an open-minded individual. You see, in 2020, in response to the University of Washington describing racism and discrimination as a, quote, public health issue that demands an urgent response, he simply tweeted back, "It's Floyd 19.
What?
Yeah, that's a well-crafted joke, right? Oh, I fucked it up. I know why you're not getting it. He capitalized all the letters in Floyd.
Like George Floyd, like the man who died?
Yep, the man who was murdered on camera. So if that was confusing, then it's probably best cleared up by a private Zoom call that Greg held with a number of CrossFit franchisees. Apparently every month he would hold like a giant Zoom for anyone who wanted to attend if you owned a CrossFit gym. And so this was one that he was doing after this had happened. So during the call, Greg stated, quote, "We're not mourning for George Floyd. I don't think me or any of my staff are. Can you tell me why I should mourn for him? Well, other than it being the white thing to do. I get that pressure, but give me another reason."
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, and this was in response to a CrossFit gym in Minneapolis stating that they were severely disappointed by CrossFit not making a statement about George Floyd.
Oh, and then they became even more disappointed.
Yeah. So this is a weird thing that I'm finding out with CrossFit the more I'm diving into it, is it's very much an opposite sides of the horseshoe sort of thing, where on one side you get a lot of alt-right cop military, these kinds of assholes, and on the other side you get some very crunchy individuals.
Fascinating.
It's really weird how they like kind of stumble fucked into a really good business model because you're getting both political sides that really fucking love it.
The libertarians of getting swole.
That's 70% fair. Yes. 70%. Also, there's the matter of an email that he sent to a CrossFit gym owner in Seattle who stated on her blog that she was ashamed with corporate's failure to address racial disparity and police violence. Greg responded by saying, quote, "I sincerely believe the quarantine has adversely impacted your mental health. I am ashamed of you."
I find it so weird when like heads of multi-million-dollar corporations have like petty mean girl access to like just like, do you have enough money to never have to be on the internet ever again?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, I feel like every CEO should act like the way Jack Dorsey looks. They should just, hide themselves away in whatever room they wish to be in. They don't have any social media. They hire people to talk for them, and they just leave us the fuck alone. But a lot of these people, I mean, this is the nice thing though, is that we find out, oh, this is the attitude behind this company. Wonderful.
It's like this. I'm not surprised that a company like CrossFit was established by a bully, like a genuine bully, like a.
What do you mean we can't
like
have
a Back
Sterling's
to
as
the
high
Future
impact?
Biff? Like.
So the Zoom call would also reveal one of the big reasons behind Greg's belief. Turns out he was able to make CrossFit an integral part of training for the military as well as many police departments. And Greg, dude loves himself some cops. So when CrossFit owners called him out on not addressing police violence or racism, he simply said, quote, "I know too many cops," and denied everything his own franchisees were telling him.
Ugh.
Now, this would all end in Greg stepping down and putting CrossFit up for sale. But knowing that the CEO was fond of pushing these racist ideologies, as well as anti-masking and anti-LGBTQ statements as well, that one in particular, he had hired a media manager who praised a CrossFit location for refusing to do a Pride Day exercise. And the guy was just like, we shouldn't be celebrating Pride anywhere ever. We shouldn't be forcing everyone to do it either. And then they were like, enough people got mad that Greg was forced to fire this guy, even though he probably agreed with him. But yeah, with all of this, one could see how someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene might be able to find a new home. So in 2012, she stepped down from running Taylor Commercial, and she got a new job as a CrossFit trainer at a local gym owned by billionaire Jim Chambers. And Jim could not have been any more opposite of Greg Glassman. You see, Jim is the heir to the Cox Communications fortune, the third largest cable company in all of America. And Jim also describes himself politically as, quote, somewhere between an eco-anarchist and a Marxist-Leninist.
All right, calm down.
He's 65. He went to Bard College as a dance major.
No!
Yup!
Did he inherit this cable company?
Oh, yeah. He inherited it from his mom.
Wow.
His grandfather was a presidential nominee and used to run the Dayton Daily News. His mom started Cox Communications with someone else, and he just inherited all of it. So the man is worth $5.8 billion as of May 2020. A communist.
So see, kids, you can do something with that dance degree.
Oh, it's like, I just want to know how you balance that ideology with billions of dollars.
How you sleep at night with the discord going on in your head. It just...
I mean, I'm sure he sleeps just fine and does not care.
Oh, I bet he sleeps great. Yeah. You know why I can't? The reasons I can't sleep are usually money related.
Exactly, yeah. Eventually, you start having bad night sleeps when you start stacking your old mattresses on top of each other. Oh my God. But yeah, and so when Jim first met Marjorie, he stated that, quote, it seemed like CrossFit had kind of taken her life over. And Jim would hire Marjorie on part-time, and his experience with her was, well, not what I expected at all. First off, Jim noted that she didn't seem to have any problem whatsoever working for a communist. But the thing that really caught Jim off guard was her, and I'm going to say this as solidly as I can, alleged hypocrisy. So as I just said, Marjorie and Perry had joined an evangelical megachurch. They'd been married for 16 years, and she wore her faith on her sleeve. But what peeved Jim off was that during the time that she worked there, he found out about multiple affairs that she began just as she started working at CrossFit. Now, initially, I read these reports in The Sun, a British tabloid not really known for its accuracy. Though I did love that they noted one of the dudes she was allegedly fucking had referred to himself as, quote, a tantric warrior.
No!
Who wouldn't want to fuck that?
Ew.
It's going to take 6.5 hours for us to reach orgasm, and we're going to do so many burpees.
Oh, gross.
But all of this changed when I noticed that the New Yorker was totally fine printing those claims as well. So we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
the Sun didn't fuck up once. Good job. Give yourselves, I don't know, what's a British term for a pat on the back?
Go on and feel chuffed, son. You deserve it.
That's so much better than anything I was going to say. Oh my God. And it probably helped that Jim put them in contact with the dude who still has texts from Marjorie proving that the two of them were busy doing the old horizontal deadlift, if you know what I mean.
Ew.
And the thing, though, is that Jim, being the eco-anarcho-communist he is, really didn't care if Marjorie was out there fucking as many people as she could. To him, if the couple was in a polyamorous relationship, then you know what? Go do whatever the fuck you want. I could care less. You're happy? Fucking do it. And you know what? That's the attitude we all should goddamn have. But what really rubbed Jim the wrong way was how Marjorie depicted herself as a Christ-adoring, sex-shaming, holier-than-thou asshole. You know what? Fuck whoever you want. Go off, queen. Being a hypocrite about it, bring the sex and the shame. I'm gonna fuck your life.
Wow, Jim. Like I'm torn because at like on one end it's like this is still none of his business.
Yeah.
But my guess is she wouldn't shut up about it.
Mhm.
And finally you're just like, I am tired of hearing about Tantric Warrior. You're a married woman going to an evangelical megachurch, and I have enough undiagnosed hypocrisy in me. I can't take on yours.
I'm carrying a full load, Marge.
I'm so tired, and I don't understand why. I'm just going to do some more burpees.
Oh my God. Tantric Warrior. That's just a title I could see someone having no qualms putting down if they believe it. No matter how many times their friends tell them to stop.
Please stop. Also, we get it. You have black silk sheets. Stop advertising.
Dude, I
None
get
of this
it.
is great.
I need you to stop bragging when you get drunk that you're hitting an average of 3 thrusts an hour. I don't need to know this, Chris.
Ugh.
Can't we just have an evening? So it was around about the time that Marjorie was running for Congress that Jim decided to go straight to social media and just tell the world everything he knew. And so Marjorie would respond by DMing Jim and vaguely threatening, quote, "If I were you, I wouldn't want my community to know that I had anything to do with Antifa."
Sorry, what?
Yep, she responded with a weird threat.
And he screenshot and posted that for everyone to see, right?
Bitch, my lawyers are interdimensional. There's nothing you can do. Well, and it's going to get even better when you find out who her lawyer is.
Oh,
You're going to
no.
find out in 2 sentences. So Jim didn't give a fuck, predominantly because people knew he was a communist. And Marjorie would keep telling people, like, don't print this. These are the ramblings of a deranged communist. To which he would say, yeah, look at the sign on my gym, which says active military and cops are not welcome as members.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Jim for you. He's got that $1 billion fuck you money.
Yeah, he does. He's got big $1 billion fuck you money.
I don't need this to succeed. I'll just fucking come here when it's empty.
I can buy my own militia.
Oh my God. And so, yeah, so the New Yorker went to Marjorie and they're like, so what's the deal with this? And she responded by saying, quote, "Let me be clear with you. Writing defamatory articles about me is a very bad choice. Be very wise in who your sources are." And she then directed them to contact her lawyer, Lynn Wood.
Oh, no.
If that name sounds familiar, it's because he worked hand in hand with Sidney Powell to try and overturn the 2020 election and has been threatened with disbarment by the state of Georgia if he doesn't submit to a mental health test.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, interdimensional lawyers versus L. Lynn Wood. I want to see it. I want it pay-per-view. I don't care how much money it costs. I will be a juror. I will sit there every day and watch the joy. So to say the least, things didn't last long between Jim and Marjorie. Within a year, she opened her own gym in Alpharetta, Georgia, called CrossFit Passion. She would open it alongside Travis Mayer, who at the time was 22 years old and was on the verge of being ranked the 14th best, CrossFitting dude in the world. Apparently there's a thing called the CrossFit Games, and they rank the best CrossFitters, and in 2014, he was going to be ranked 14th in the world.
I think I saw those games on TV when I was still waitressing.
Yeah, yes. It's the only place anyone watches them. You work at a bar and ESPN, it has to be played no matter what. And that's all that's on.
It's 2 p.m. on a Friday and it's ESPN 6. So let's have it.
Yeah. And they always they look like an obstacle course where someone removed the fun.
Yeah. A lot of Nordic names.
Yeah. 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 And so for a solid 4 years, this would be Marjorie's life. But like all people of endless ambition, Marjorie found a new purpose. So I think it's important to say that the Trump administration didn't so much create a subculture as they did validify one. I think we've proven enough times already that the alt-right has always existed in America, just to varying degrees of success. So when Trump became president and made Trumpism the identity of these angry masses, people piled on. Everyone from true believers to opportunistic grifters. And Marjorie, I honestly can't tell which one she is. It's clear that Jim Chambers didn't think that she was very political at all when she was working at his gym in 2012, but it could have just been her trying to get her credentials in before opening her own gym. But either way, 2017 would mark the shift in Marjorie Taylor Greene from CrossFit trainer to conspiracy theorist. And I think I have kind of a theory as to what happened if she is a true believer. And the answer sucks, and it's Pizzagate. So, as a conspiracy theory, Pizzagate is two things. The first is fucking ridiculous. For those of you,
is that not redundant? We're already talking about conspiracy theories.
Look, I mean, some conspiracy theories do end up having a shred of kernel of truth to them, or end up actually being discovered to be true. I mean, you could look at the business plot. You could look at Operation Northwoods was one. Like, I mean, you could even look at Jeffrey Epstein for that. Or sexual abuse in the Catholic Church was a huge conspiracy theory for a while until people could prove it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine. I will.
It sucks to justify conspiracy theories, but
bite my tongue on my dislike for conspiracy theories.
Oh, you don't have to for the rest of these. You could have
great.
The rest of these are fair game. So for you sweet summer children who have no clue what Pizzagate is, first, how do I be you? How do I get to be your life?
Take me with you.
Our listeners in France, save me. All right, so I'm sure they've heard of Pizzagate. I mean, they have to deal with Marie Le Pen, who
Le Gate de Pizza,
and is super close to becoming the next president of France.
Barf.
So, yay. Anyway, that's fun. So for those of you who don't know what Pizzagate is, it's a conspiracy theory that began like all bad things on Twitter. On October 20th, 2016, a man claiming to be a Jewish lawyer based in New York, despite the fact that his feed was full of anti-Semitic and white supremacist nonsense, made a post claiming that the NYPD had discovered a secret child sex trafficking ring via the emails of disgraced former Congressman Anthony Weiner. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, but for a start, for a baseline, all right. We have Anthony Weiner. We have a dude who's committed many a sex crime, has sexted with underage women. So it's at least starting with a thing where it's like I could see.
He wastes.
The thing that officially sank his career was that he was caught sexting with a 16-year-old girl.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And this was after the initial sex scandal.
Sure.
So, yeah.
God, idiot.
Yeah, it's yeah. And so it at least has that like adjacent, like all the conspiracy theory really needs to flourish is some adjacent level of truth. And so that's what it kind of hooked onto. So this post led people to attempt to find similarities between the Weiner emails, as well as the recently leaked emails of John Podesta. And they started finding nothing. But when the mind wants to see something, it has a habit of making things just kind of appear. And in Podesta's email, some folks locked into a conversation about ordering pizza and found the phrasing to be very suspect, almost as if it wasn't an email written by an old man who doesn't understand technology, but an email written explicitly in code. And this would lead to a post on Reddit connecting the child trafficking ring to a Washington, D.C. based pizzeria called Comet Ping Pong. And I guess since Reddit is now a primary source, it led to a multitude of people, most notably Alex Jones, Mike Cernovich, and Jack Posobiec, to suddenly take a Reddit post and claim it to be absolute proof that a pizza place in D.C. wasn't just trafficking kids, but was also sacrificing them to the literal Christian devil. So this is Pizzagate.
It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. And it just drives me crazy how dumb it is. And I just cannot, like, my thought goes to the schlubs working at Comet Ping Pong for minimum wage.
Yeah.
Just trying their loving best.
Yeah.
To get orders.
I have to pay rent. I just want to get off work, order some cheap fucking drinks, have a few little mercies, and go the fuck home.
Yeah.
That's my life now. And
maybe play some Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But now it's like, it might as well be a stop on one of those like big brown bus tours. Like, well, and here's Pizzagate Pizzeria.
Well, it drives me nuts too, because at least in some of the old conspiracy theories, the ones that, didn't get people hurt, they were at least creative. Like, at least with the Philadelphia experiment, you're talking about teleporting a fucking Navy cruiser. And that's cool as shit. That's fucking awesome. It's not true. I want it to be true. And that makes me love it.
Yeah, that's a fun fantasy escape. But here, the other, like, frustrating as all hell thing for me is just like the blatant partisanship, because then you have a couple of years later, Matt Gaetz allegedly sexting young girls and bringing them to the Bahamas, crossing state lines. Like, again, actual like child trafficking. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Yeah.
Well, I was going to bring this up later, but now's the perfect time for it. The thing that consistently pisses me off about Pizzagate and various other sorts of things is you're right. Matt Gaetz, proven child trafficker. Jeffrey Epstein, proven child trafficker. And Pizzagate does nothing but distract from the actual epidemic of sex trafficking in America. Like, it's real and it's happening.
Right.
But the people that it's happening to aren't exactly the people who believe these conspiracy theories. I don't think they legitimately care about.
Yeah, no, or probably see as fully formed humans. Like, we're talking Native American women.
Yeah. And it's it's such a perfect, we'll get to this later, but yeah, it's incredibly frustrating because it is a real and complicated issue. And all Pizzagate does is just force a bunch of funds and attention to the worst and most inaccurate place possible when you could be funding organizations who make fighting sex trafficking their livelihoods.
Right.
It's infuriating.
So just admit that you don't actually care and just go write some fan fiction on a Tumblr site. Like, just stop
100%.
bothering me.
Yeah. If you legitimately fucking cared, you'd be donating to these organizations on a monthly fucking basis. Anyway, so something I found super interesting is that a professor by the name of Jonathan Albright of Elon University did a little study to find out who exactly is pushing this conspiracy forward. And part of the answer is a fuck ton of bots. But also, it seemed like a lot of the retweets were based out of the Czech Republic, Cyprus, and Vietnam. So, which led to the theory that it appears as though a lot of these are going through click farms.
Oh.
So you could maybe connect an adversarial nation to this sort of a thing.
I don't know. Follow the rubles, maybe.
It's not a real currency. It's potatoes and boom, roasted. Take that, Russia.
You're right. Real currency is only the blood of your enemy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm not looking forward to that wall. So Pizzagate would mostly fall apart after one main event, and that's when Edgar Madison Welsh went himself to Comet Ping Pong to investigate. And by investigate, I mean he brought an AR-15 style rifle, fired a few shots inside, and demanded to see the basement where the kids were kept. So Edgar found out pretty quickly that the employees were telling him the truth, that there's never been a basement. We'll show you anywhere you want to go, dude, but there's no basement. You can have the grand fucking tour.
It's $15 an hour in Washington, D.C. You know that's not enough money for a studio.
Oh my god. You could have walked in and demanded all of the money and we would not have stopped you.
Just please put down the automatic rifle.
Please don't shoot at the animatronics. They're very expensive and very old. So Edgar found out pretty quickly they were telling the truth. The cop showed up and he surrendered pretty much immediately. Later on in court, he would plead guilty, noting in court that he had been tricked into believing the conspiracy, expressed remorse for what he did, and stated that he had no excuse for his actions. And Welch would serve 3 months in prison before being released. But from what I can read, the dude was actually pretty repentant over what he had done and very ashamed.
I mean, that fills me with hope.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks it had to get to that point, but
yes.
Well, and it should also be noted that a couple of weeks later, another guy almost attempted to do the same thing, to quote, do what the other guy couldn't. But that guy
you know these employees are not getting hazard pay.
Oh, not even close. They're lucky to get minimum wage, I'm sure. You know fucking pizza shops like that, they're not getting tipped.
Nope.
They're getting 10% at best from shitty parents and their god-awful kids. And they're just, I'm sure half the time they're like, maybe we should be sacrificing kids to the devil. That would at least be satisfying.
I hear organs go for a lot more than pizzas.
They do, especially when they're small and cute. Anyway, Marjorie's going to sue us and yell at us. It's going to be great. Anyway. Ugh. So the other thing about this particular conspiracy, though, is that it is the perfect gateway to other conspiracies. So unlike conspiracies involving JFK or UFOs, this is a conspiracy where the victims are not just children, but they are nameless children. They can act as avatars for the kids in your personal life that you love and at any moment could be swooped up. The conspiracy also brings with it a tradition of previous satanic panic conspiracies. During the 80s, America was swept into a panic that Satanists were actively kidnapping children for ritual sacrifices, and some were even operating daycare facilities just to have an easier source. All of those claims were pure bullshit, but amongst evangelicals, this became a subconscious thought that's persisted to this day. And finally, you have the perfect antagonist, Hillary Rodham Clinton. So not only is she running for president at the time, but she worked directly with John Podesta. But I think a lot of establishment Democrats heavily underestimate the level of evil lore that is built around the Clintons. But not only does that make it easy to cast her as a devil-worshipping villain, but it opens a new believer into a whole world of conspiracies they may never have heard of just because they're associated with Hillary Clinton.
I will also add that I think a lot of established Democrats also have a level of misogyny within them to willfully ignore the rabid hatred for her on the other side.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of sympathy there.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's with Hillary Clinton's life, I think it's going to be very interesting to look at in the future, especially her progression from a very progressive feminist to someone who fits very much within the establishment mold, not because it fits her ideology, but because it's what she was forced into to survive. Mm-hmm. And it's really devastating in a lot of its own ways, but I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting thing in the future. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about things that didn't happen to Hillary Clinton that people think did. So yeah, let's say you've just gotten into Pizzagate. You thoroughly believe it. The Clintons are obviously involved. But what else have the Clintons done? Well, one of the very big first, like if there was a Clinton Conspiracy 101 class, the very first thing you would be given would be the Clinton body count conspiracy. So the basic gist of this is that Bill and Hillary Clinton have had at least 34 people killed for their own political convenience. The original list was made by a lawyer named Linda Thompson in 1993 and detailed people who had existed within the Clinton sphere of influence who had, quote, died of mysterious circumstances. The list would eventually increase to 48 and would be introduced before Congress by an actual congressman, and this particular dude would try to actually make an investigation into them. But lucky for us, our friends at Snopes have already done an amazing job debunking the entire list.
Yay!
So I'm not going to go into all of them. But the main point that they make of this is that the Clinton list has almost 100% of things in common with a similar list conspiracy. Turns out someone made a list of people who died mysteriously around JFK, and it follows the same rules.
So there's plagiarism too.
Essentially, yeah. And the rules are simple. If someone died in a plane crash, it was mysterious. If it's a suicide, then it was under mysterious circumstances and was done in a way in which it couldn't have been suicide. And if someone, say, died of natural causes, then it was staged to look like a suicide. And
which is mysterious.
Murder.
Oh my God. Dusty, I think this is the Kickstarter board game we need to create.
The Clinton body count board game?
Yes!
Oh my God. The answer to all of them is, yeah, the Clintons did it.
It's Clue, but unhinged.
Oh my God. That's amazing. Oh, that'd be such a good grift. God damn it.
Yes.
The pile. And yeah, and so it's essentially if someone, and by sphere of influence, what I mean was, did they work in the White House at some point? Did they work in the Arkansas State House? Did they work at a company that handled any real estate deals that the Clintons did? Did someone live in Arkansas at the same time? So some highlights of the original Clinton list include Stanley Huggins, who died of pneumonia, but is claimed in the list to have been a suspicious suicide. John Parnell Walker, who supposedly fell off his apartment balcony, but also seems to have never existed in the first place. The same goes for a guy named John Hillier, who appears to have never existed. And also in the list are 4 ATF agents who were killed during the Waco siege.
Come on.
The Clintons put together the Branch Davidian cult and then sent the ATF in and gave the Branch Davidians a heads up. And that's why those 4 guys died. And that was because they used to be President Clinton's Secret Service attaché.
Look, boomers, I get it. The concept of dying is very alien remote to everyone. This is still a bridge too far.
Well, and the thing, though, that gives this, I'm not going to say credence, but is like that tangential attraction to Comet Ping Pong, are the list of 2 names in the Clinton body count conspiracy theory list. And that's of 2 17-year-old boys who had been found dead next to a set of train tracks in Mena, Arkansas. Now, it is claimed that these boys had found out that the Clintons were involved in some sort of drug deal of some sort. But in reality, what had actually happened is the boys had actually stumbled onto a drug ring who then caught them trying to steal cocaine from them, and their bodies were beaten and left near the local train tracks. The Clinton body list also includes a ton of other people who died in association with this. It appears as though, or at least what police believe, is that this drug ring wasn't particularly good at keeping things quiet, and murder was a step too high for a lot of people. And so they just started killing off anyone they thought was going to snitch. And so since all these other names were associated, they get added to the Clinton list.
Come on.
Yeah.
Give the drug ring some credit.
But here's the thing. If the Clintons killed 2 kids once, they're going to have no problem doing that again.
But they didn't.
No, but they have to. You know why, Una? It makes the devil think they're cool.
Fucking can't without dumbnesses.
It's going to get dumber. It hasn't even gotten the dumbest yet. Because you see, one of the cool things that you get from kid blood is a little something called adrenochrome. Now, adrenochrome is a real thing, and it's what happened after adrenaline oxidizes in the blood system. So you get really excited and hyper, and then you calm down, and then there's adrenochrome in your blood because it's oxidized, and that's, I think, how it goes away. I don't know. I'm not a blood doctor.
Oh, and sometimes you kind of get a little shaky.
Yeah.
All right.
So funnel that through the gaze of conspiracy, and what adrenochrome becomes is a chemical that exists in the blood during heightened states of fear and pain. And this chemical is then capable of giving the drinker of said blood a powerful psychedelic trip that is both amazing and highly addictive. And funny enough, the concept of this was invented by Hunter S. Thompson.
I was going to say, it's like, this just sounds like, again, mescaline fan fiction.
It is, yeah. It comes exactly from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. There is a scene where they are extracting blood from someone who is scared so they can have an adrenochrome high.
Which is hilarious in the context of, like, gonzo journalist novel.
Yeah, it just sounds like something that Hunter's making up because he thinks it's fucking funny.
Honestly, yeah, absolutely. And it is funny in that context.
Yeah.
I would find this so much more believable if what you just said was pasted into the description of like $178 facial serum I could find on Sephora. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Adrenochrome from Goop.
Adrenochrome, yeah.
But the thing is, though, to get the good shit, you got to get it through kids. And the only way you can
virgins, preferably
virgin children. But yeah, I mean, probably. But yeah, and the only way to get it is through heightened states of fear and pain. And so if you're going to get this shit from the kids, I'm sorry, you got to scare and torture them and then eventually kill them, because eventually they're going to run out of adrenochrome. They're going to break, and then you can't get any more, and you can't get that fucking sweet devil high.
Yeah, they're always going to be chasing their own white dragon of like, what's going to be even more fearful since this psycho already has me chained and whipped.
And so the adrenochrome conspiracy theory is linked to politicians, to millionaires, people in high financial power, Hollywood elites. And the funny thing is, in the 19th century, it had a completely different name. Then it was called blood libel. See, blood libel is the really fucked up anti-Semitic belief that Jews were going around kidnapping good Christian children and then drinking their blood for power.
Yep.
A number of Catholic saints are children who were believed to have been killed by Jews for this particular process.
The younger, the better.
It also never fucking happened. But here we are in fucking 2020, and we still have fucking blood libel.
There are no new ideas.
It's infuriating to no end. Just let it go. It's not...
Yeah.
Like, blood libel is god awful, and it's also like the multicolored wristband parties of conspiracy theories. Like, you're just inventing shit you wish was true so you could be mad about it, but it's never been fucking true.
I mean, blood libel is wholly within the realm of pure white supremacy. I feel like with the adrenochrome, there's also like an added dash of this person probably would just like die from asphyxiation during masturbation, like whatever. What is that called? The like
autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, it's like you.
Right. Great.
Like, you clearly need an outlet. And frankly, it's like there are many ways to safely and with consent perform those outlets.
Yeah, like, I've never done a psychedelic, mainly because I don't trust what my brain will do to me in the process. But from what I've heard, like, fucking mushrooms will get you where you're going. You don't have to fucking drain children to make the devil think you're cool. Fucking eat a mushroom, talk to God, and go home.
Yeah, like your other god, Joe Rogan, promotes microdosing as an alternative to serotonin. Like,
it sounds great, honestly. But yeah, it's so, like, at what point in the psychedelic trip world do you get past your tolerance that you're just like, well, I guess I have to go to kid blood now?
When does your brain break?
Yeah, exactly. And so the funny thing is, I'm not funny. It's not funny. The shitty thing is, Pizzagate, the Clinton kill list, and the 21st century blood libel are all things that are the bedrock of the QAnon movement.
Ugh.
Yeah, we do not have QAnon if it's not for Pizzagate. And it's kind of where all the Pizzagate people went after Welch went in with his AR-15 and was like, oh no, nothing's here.
Oh, yeah.
Can I have a slice before jail?
I've made a terrible mistake.
It's going to take a while to get my family back. Oh no. So by 2017, Marjorie was now in her new phase, writing as a correspondent for American Truth Seekers, a now defunct conspiracy theory news site, which to me sounds a lot like the website that Jude Law ran in Contagion, and probably not the same quality.
Probably is.
So she would publish 59 articles stating her belief of Pizzagate, the Clinton kill list, the 21st century blood libel. In fact, she even took that last one step further. You see, there's a B-side to Pizzagate that most people don't know about. You got to flip the record. You got to hear what's on the other side. The hits, they're great, but there's some hidden gems.
No, I don't need any deep cuts from Pizzagate.
What if it's called Frazzle Drip?
This is disgusting.
It's called Frazzle Drip. like some
like the Muppets?
Yeah, it's like a Muppet that got laid off.
I'm thinking more of like tobacco chew with a frazzle on it.
Look, Frazzle Drip, we really like a lot what you're doing here, but I don't think it's Muppets material. I will write you a great recommendation to HR Puff and Stuff. I'm sure you'll find a good home there. We wish you the best. Get the fuck out of my office, you creepy Muppet.
Oh, you had unprotected sex in Sesame Street? Oh, you got the Frazzle Drip now.
Man, look, can you take penicillin? Because if so, you're good. You'll be fine. If not, sorry.
Maybe we should cut all of this.
No, this all stays.
It's terrible.
No, this stays.
This stays. Fine.
I love the Adventures of Frazzle Drip, the STD Muppet. Anyway, yeah, so the Pizzagate B-side Frazzle Drip. So it started as a rumor on 4chan in 2018.
Oh, this sounds great.
Yeah, it turns out a video is dropping from Anthony Weiner's computer that was taken by the FBI to prove that he was sexting with teenage girls. And in the video, was a snuff film starring Hillary Clinton and Wiener's then wife, Huma Abedin, who was also Hillary Clinton's assistant. And it features both of them raping and killing a young girl before drinking her blood in a satanic ceremony and then taking turns wearing the kid's face.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So here's the thing. I think we both grew up, with the internet being terrible. I think you're familiar with Rotten.com and all those terrible websites that existed back in the old days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, where it's like if something terrible exists on the internet, anyone will be able to find it.
Yep.
And a video like that, if it existed, everyone would have seen it by now. I'll rephrase that. Anyone who would have wanted to see it would have seen it by now. It is so clearly and patently not fucking true. It's called frazzle drip. It's not fucking true.
It's also just like, it's so, any one of those things I would hear and be like, get the fuck out. This is so dumb and bullshit.
Yeah.
Obvious. But they had to pack it. Like they had to throw they had to make sure someone was getting a bingo.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's, oh my God. Oh, Lord. But yeah, and so Marjorie wrote an article on fucking American Truth Seekers claiming that it was true and that she 100% believes it. But yeah, and so we talked earlier about how this completely distracts from actual child sex trafficking. And the thing that I think ultimately pisses me off is that it convinces people that you don't have to donate money to organizations that are trying to stop this. You don't have to volunteer your time. You don't have to learn to see signs of sex trafficking in, say, airports or in bus stations or things of that sort. All you have to do is not vote for the Democrats, and you've saved children. And it infuriates me to no end because people don't want to fix the problem. They want a simple solution that makes them feel like they fixed the problem. And if the problem still exists, then clearly it's because of what other people are doing, because they've already done everything.
Oh, God. Yeah, that hurts. That's true. The thorn in my side with all of this is also that, like, throughout the Trump administration, every time, like, they'd get a bee in their bonnet about something that the Democrats allegedly had done, which was so outlandish and, like, frankly, like, on the verge of libel, 3 to 6 months later, you'd find out that the Trump administration had done that. Like, it's like, that's why it was on your mind. That's why you kept screaming about it. It's because it was happening inside your own house.
Yeah.
And so when I hear like shit like this, I'm just like, what? These crazy people, like, they're probably doing this shit.
Like, what have you done? Like, what part of this is actually true? But yeah, but coming from 4chan, it's just some like kid in his basement who's just typing shit and just moving on in life. And maybe later is like, why did anyone believe this? I was shit posting. Like, none of this was meant to be true.
I hope it was just shit posting. I definitely had a good friend of mine become an all out troll online. It was just so weird to watch happen in real time. Of like at first, he would just like start screaming against Hillary on like Facebook, and I would jokingly say like, get off my wall, like, because it's Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
After a while, I'm just like, no, you're actively going after people, and most of the time, like, they're my minority friends. So no. Yep, very weird.
This is no good. So Marjorie would spend the next few years becoming a more shit human being. Suddenly, every major mass shooting became a false flag. Included in that list would be the shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary and Stoneman Douglas High School. And after the latter, Marjorie would go suddenly viral when a set of videos that she had made would emerge of her stalking survivor David Hogg as he walked to a congressional hearing, calling him a coward for refusing to talk to her and her accusations of the shooting having never happened. She would later refer to Hogg as, quote, Little Hitler.
Just no words.
So now talking about all the conspiracies that Marge supports would take a whole episode unto itself, so I'm just going to list the rest like some shitty mid-90s CD compilation commercial. Favorite conspiracies include: the Pentagon was hit by a missile, not a plane on 9/11. Immigration is an evil plan of the elite rulers to bring about white genocide. And everyone's favorite: Ruth Bader Ginsburg died years ago and has been replaced by a body double to keep Trump from replacing her.
That's Dick Cheney. That's your own side.
And with a history like that, how could she not just suddenly decide to run for Congress? Now we get to the fun part, because initially Marjorie's plan to run for Congress would have failed because she was planning on primarying freshman Republican Congresswoman Karen Handel in the 6th District. Marjorie would claim it was because of Handel's support of a huge omnibus bill that she helped pass, but it was more likely because Karen's electoral record was 1 for 7, and beating her in a primary was probably easier than going against anyone else in Georgia. But then fate arrived when 9-term Congressman Tom Graves shocked the state and announced that he wouldn't run for re-election. So Marjorie bought a home in Rome, Georgia, and dove into the race for the 14th District, which on its face seemed like an even worse call. For one, she's carpetbagging, but for two, she would be going up against a few very seasoned politicians, including 2 state representatives and the former state school superintendent. But the big candidate that the local wing of the Republican Party had coalesced around was a neurologist named John Cohen. While Cohen was new to politics, he had some local acclaim as a former college football player and also served as a reserve's deputy sheriff. And it also didn't hurt that the GOP chairman of the largest county in the district was leading his campaign. But while Cohen was busy securing endorsements from Georgia congressmen and state politicians, Marjorie was busy pouring $1 million of her own dollars into her campaign campaign and just being herself. While Cowan had the support of Congressional Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Marjorie was pulling in endorsements from the pure Trumpist crowd. She got Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, and Andy Biggs, who is a man who is such an asshole that in 2018, an ad that was run against him featured all of his brothers and sisters begging people not to vote for him.
I love that. Was he the one I was thinking of? Because there might have been like a couple politicians running where it's like their family came out against voting for them.
I believe that. I mean,
I think there was one in Arizona, maybe.
Yeah, that's Andy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was like his 6 brothers and sisters.
Yes. It's like, please, he's a nightmare.
Don't know what happened to Andy. Just please.
The rest of us turned out fine, and we have to tell mom that every Thanksgiving.
So Marjorie ran on the slogan of Save America, Stop Socialism, and ran ads where she held an AR-15 in front of pictures of AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib, promising to stop them from, quote, ripping this country apart. And if that wasn't a loud enough dog whistle, she appeared at multiple gun rights rallies, often in support of the American Patriots USA Militia, the American Brotherhood of Patriots, and a militia that would eventually become her own personal security detail, the Georgia 3% Martyrs. Now, the 3% militias, those are mostly known as being very white supremacist and very scary.
And by any other name, would smell as burning.
That reminded me, at the very first gun rally that she went to, she took pictures with one of her supporters who was a 5-time Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But what really helped Marjorie get past the first round is explained best, and I hate to say this, by alt-right prick and radio show host Eric Erickson. Quote, the 14th has a fondness for the diehard Christian conservatives, as opposed to people with establishmentarian ties. And Greene's penchant for controversy prompted a lot of free media coverage to go along with all the Facebook ads she was buying. They don't care about QAnon. It's who's the Trumpiest, who sounds like the president. And when you look at John Cowan, there was a perception that he wasn't really with the president. He was just saying it, while you could tell that Greene meant it. And it's not like John wasn't trying to get Trump's endorsement. He played up the fact that Ben Carson had taught him in med school, but try as he might, he was never able to get a hold of Trump. And any hope of him getting the endorsement left when Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and the House Freedom Caucus both endorsed Marjorie before the Republican primary.
Oof.
Now, Marjorie wouldn't win outright, but during the runoff election with Cowan, she would end up locking up the GOP nomination. And it was around this point that people nationally were starting to freak out and find out who the hell she was.
Wait, no!
What do you mean I can't help now? I remember quite often people stating that, oh, now we need to support the Democratic nominee no matter what and send as much money as we can to help beat this QAnon person. And it would make me so mad because by the time people started saying that, it was so much easier said than done. So the Floyd County Democrats, and Floyd County is the largest county in the district, have a real shit luck when it comes to finding candidates, ever since the 14th district was formed in 2012. In their inaugural year, an electrician named Danny Grant stepped forward and as the only candidate ran a decent campaign and got crushed by Graves 73-27. And in 2014 and 2016, the Democrats wouldn't even bother nominating anyone, leaving Graves to run unopposed both years. But in 2018, they finally got someone that they hoped could be a respectable candidate, a former physician by the name of Stephen Lamar Foster. Problem, though, is the former in his name wasn't because he retired, but rather because his license was suspended after it was discovered that he'd stolen boats from the U.S. Army in 1999.
What?
So there weren't many details, but I think he was like in the National Guard or something like that at the time. I'm not sure, but he had gotten a bunch of boats following Hurricane Mitch, which had hit Central America at the time. And so he got these boats and he sent down food and humanitarian aid. And when the boats showed up, everyone on the boats got arrested because the Honduran police found a fuck ton of cocaine.
Oh my God.
So it's not clear if Steven was the reason the cocaine was there, or if everyone in his organization were like, you know what would be more profitable than giving people food? Selling cocaine.
Or if someone was like, we're going anyway.
I don't want to go to Honduras twice. It's a long trip. I don't have that many miles. Let's just fucking do it.
I'm not making 2 trips. God, pre 9/11 was just wild, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. It's fucking bananas. And so to add on top of that, he was also being sued by a local bank for defaulting on a $2.2 million loan.
Say if they just waited, the Coke money would have arrived.
It was in 99. He's getting sued in like 2013 at this point for the bank loan.
Well, yeah, because the boats got arrested and with it the Coke.
Look, we were reviewing your loan and it says at the bottom, not for cocaine. I hate to say it. I feel like we would have approved it faster if it just said cocaine. At this time, he also owed $300,000 in state and federal back taxes. And he also got a DUI in the middle of his campaign.
He did.
The head of the Floyd County Democrats, it seemed like he purposely forgot this dude's name just because he was so ashamed that that's the guy they had to run.
Oh.
And to make it even better, the guy's job at the time was running a nudist camp. Democrats, why even try?
Listen, no, I'm not throwing Dems and disarray into this mix. Absolutely not. We're talking about Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene.
No, you're right. I'm glad someone stepped forward, and it's not their fault. It's not like this was the guy they courted. It was the only guy who signed up to run, and they're like, okay, we can run with this. You're a physician. We can work with it.
Yes. It's better than nothing.
And then they open the door, and the guy just trips on his own dick and breaks a coffee table. And cocaine dust flies.
I was going to say, cocaine spills everywhere. You know it's not baby powder.
Like said, oh no, my powdered sugar.
Oh no, baking soda.
Hey guys, is everything else going really fast for you too?
I am super psyched to win this.
Is it just me, or do I want to fuck this table I just broke? Anyway, so yeah, after all of that, Tom Graves would win 76.5 to 23.5, which I would like to point. Fucking Danny Grant ran a normal campaign and gets 27% of the vote. This chuckle fuck runs his life, and he only does 3.5% worse.
So take that info, poll data scientists.
That's a real sad, like, high water, low water mark if you're living there. So going into 2020, the local Dems were desperate to find a decent candidate, and honestly, they actually got one. They ended up finding an IT professional named Kevin Van Ostall, and honestly, he came to them because he noticed that no one was running. He got in his car, he drove up to Atlanta, paid $5,200 to get on the ballot, and there he was. And he was the only person to do it. So at the time, Kevin was 35, and the dude took the race very seriously. He hired an experienced campaign manager, he got together a very professional campaign, and ran on the slogan of, quote, "Save the American Dream." And in total, Kevin would run for 31 days. And weirdly enough, it wasn't because of the constant online bullying and threats that Kevin received from Marjorie's supporters. If anything, that only encouraged him to keep running. It caused him to recognize that he was the last person that Marjorie would have to go through if she was going to get a seat in Congress. And for a while, his nice guy running for Congress campaign was actually working. Most notably, he polled at 40%, leaps and bounds above his predecessors. Instead, what pushed Kevin out would be something far more human and depressing. On the 28th day of his campaign, Kevin was met by a sheriff's deputy who handed him papers. His wife had filed for divorce, and a court order dictated that she would get the house for the time being, and Kevin was to leave immediately. The next day, Kevin was living out of a hotel, and the campaign was pondering what the fuck to do. And 3 days later, Kevin moved back to his family in Gary, Indiana, with the hope that there would still be enough time for the Democrats to nominate a replacement, because now that his permanent home was in Indiana, he was no longer eligible to run.
God.
And the thing was, the time to find a replacement candidate had passed. And despite Kevin dropping out of the race, his name remained on the ballot.
Holy shit.
Marjorie essentially ran the race unopposed.
Okay, now I'm feeling like there's a conspiracy because, again, who would I believe more likely to like wildly pay off some woman?
Yeah.
Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene.
Here's $1 billion. Fucking divorce your husband.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have to, though. It's like, I don't know. It's like 40% in that district is pretty good. I'm pretty sure that's the high water mark, but it would have been a very interesting race. I think. Honestly, I think it's just nothing more than the dude chose to run for Congress at the worst possible time. Any stress that was already on the marriage probably got compounded because
100%.
Yeah, it's his campaign managers were like, we have to shift from you just being a normal nice guy. We have to go on the offensive here. And one of his campaign managers even said, "Are you willing for someone to walk up to you and point a gun in your face?" Because that's where things are at right now. Because in their minds, they're saving America by doing that.
Yeah.
And he was just like, if you're willing to accept that that's a possibility, then we can keep doing this. You just can't keep running as if that's not a possibility.
Yeah. I also wouldn't be surprised if the wife was experiencing as much, maybe more online harassment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not a good scenario all around. And it was just a genuinely sad story.
Ugh.
But, I don't want to leave on such a bummer of a note. We all know the bullshit that Marjorie's been up to since she won her race. So instead, I want to briefly bring up 3 people: Latifah Connor, Marcus Flowers, and Holly McCormick. These 3 people will be part of the very first Democratic primary the 14th District has ever seen, and one of them will become the main competitor to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So take all those feelings you had back when you first found out about Marjorie and all the new feelings you have about her, and use that energy to check out the campaign sites for those 3 candidates. Once again, that is Latifah Connor, Marcus Flowers, and Holly McCormick. Latifah seems to be the more progressive. Marcus Flowers looks fucking awesome in a cowboy hat. And Holly McCormick, dare I say, one of the cutest campaign logos I've ever seen. It's like an American eagle with a, United States shield behind it, but the eagle just has this look on his face that's just like so fucking adorable. I love it. It's such good design. But all of them seem genuinely great. So find the 1 or 2 you like most and donate to their campaign. It may be an uphill battle, but people like Marge, at bare minimum, deserve a challenge to their power and shouldn't be allowed to keep it without a fight.
Yeah.
So that's the story of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah. Our first, hopefully only QAnon representative.
Oof. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't Laura Loomer as well. That would have been a real bummer and a half. Who's probably running again. So we can look forward to that.
Boo.
Look, you got to run the grift until it's dead in the ground.
Yeah.
there's anything I've learned about grifting, run it until you're in jail. Don't ever cash out.
You can keep going. You are the house, and the house never loses.
What, are you going to put a house in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know, any feelings, any emotions?
So many feelings, so many emotions, but mostly that I need to, puke it up. Just barf it out.
Yeah. Fucking go to your local cult of Dionysus and fucking lose your mind. That'd be great. Yeah, so I know that one was a bummer, and it's definitely probably longer than previous episodes too, but I'm glad y'all dove in. For at least a few more months, we're not going to be talking about any of these future monsters, but we will.
Yay!
Especially going into the 2022 election, we're going to have to highlight some new evil.
All right, Dusty, let's figure out our self-care routines.
Okay, it's going to be great. We're going to order a case of fruit wine from Michigan.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to drink half of it.
Yes, this episode is, a lot of crying. I'm thinking face masks, hot baths.
Yeah, matching tattoos. I don't know. Tattoos. Tattoos in general. But yeah, figure out your self-care regimen. That's the word. God damn it. Don't go on vacation. It hurts your brain. But yeah, figure out your self-care. Be good to each other. And we'll see you next time on Gadfly. Adrenochrome on the rocks. Gadfly is a production of Added Serotonin. Our episodes are edited by Brianna Valentine of Rem Alternus Productions. Our theme song is Sophomore Makeout by Silent Partner, and you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at GadflyPod.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?